Well, it's Tuesday, July 15, 2025. I'm Todd Dunn. It's about 2:15, and I just took Sequester off the dock, and guess what? Yeah, I'm under sail. This sail almost didn't happen because at the last minute my wife said she didn't want to come. So I finally told her, look, I'm going anyway and I don't know what I'm going to do, but you know, we'll take the boat out and off the dock anyway, and get ready. So under sail, just shut the engine down. I'm about half a mile from the marina, and we're headed over toward the cranberries. Over there, the fog is up, but it is still hazy, so it's not going to be the most perfect day, but it's okay. It's the first day underway. Currently I'm making 2.7 knots. It's warm here in the harbor, probably in the upper 70s, but as soon as we clear Kings Point, which is the point out there, it should cool off. So anyway, that's what's up. I'm single-handed my first sail of the 2025 season. No crew, nothing. As you can see, cockpit is empty except for me. And my wife is at home. She simply decided that she didn't feel up to going out on a boat today, even though we're almost 8 weeks late for our first sail. So who knows what's up, but I am not going to give up the first semi-clear day that we've had since the boat went in the water. So I'm out, we're going to sail. It's a light air day. Now we're probably not going to go very fast, but you know, just make sure everything works and get going. I had to take the boat off the dock alone because I called the marina, but nobody answered. I think they're all on a lunch break or something. And so getting blown onto the dock, but I managed to swing the boat out and get it off the dock without incident. So at this point, Sequester's under sail for the first time in 2025 here in the middle of July. So I got to do a little blog book work and then I'll come back. Well, I'm underway, making 3.7 knots. Still not out into the cooler air, but we're getting there. I was dragging my fenders. I forgot to pull them up. They were on as I got off the dock. So anyway, the boat is underway and we'll see how it goes. I'm not trying to optimize. I think I'm just going to sail over to Islesford and back today. Just take it easy. No aggressive sailing. Now, there's Greening Island over there with its summer cottages. Nobody lives on Greening year-round. It's all summer cottages. And I was looking at real estate ads the other day, and the summer cottage at the east end of Greening, which we might be able to see a little bit through the trees, is for sale. So yeah, it's got the main cottage, which is a small 10-bedroom 10-bath. It's got a boathouse with accommodations up above and another cottage. And basically it's the entire east end of the island, about 5 acres. And if you are interested, I think the listing was only $4.5 million. We'll have a closer look as we sail by. Did you hear that? Sail! Ah! You're on camera!
Yeah, cranberry!
Yeah, great cranberry.
Great to see you, Todd.
Good to see you. A couple guys I talked to last year, they have a summer cottage on Great Cranberry, and they're out for a sail. Well, started to sail into a little bit cooler air, and the wind is picking up slightly. We're back up to 3.6. We were down to 2.4. And we'll see what it feels like as we head over toward the cranberries for the first time in 2025. There are the bigger hills of Mount Desert Island over there. You see it's pretty hazy. It's supposed to be very humid today, tonight, and early tomorrow. Well, tomorrow. Unfortunately, I have to drive into the city tomorrow. It's supposed to be in the 90s there, so not looking forward to it, but I'll survive. And this will go a long way toward fortifying me for the trip, believe me. It's nice to be out here again for the first time this year. And I'm full of painkillers, so I'm doing okay. Out there, you can see the south end of Great Cranberry.
I'm in Liberty, this is the Claremont Dock.
And just past that, you can see maybe the Duck Islands. They're pretty indistinct, but they're out there. You haven't been able to see them for 10 days anyway. Beautiful, beautiful out here today, even though it's hazy. Over there, that sloop towing a dinghy is Hinckley Sou'wester Jr. Their 30-footer belongs to my friend Joe, and he is out as usual for a single-handed sail. He goes out at every chance he gets, and I really want to emulate him because he just turned 91. Believe it or not. Wow, 91 and still single-handed sailing. Makes me feel like a little kid. And you can see just to the left of that sloop the Bear Island Lighthouse. First view of it this year. We're a ways away, right out here in the middle of the Great Harbor, and we're headed toward the cranberries. And it did not cool off out here. It's still pretty warm. I'd say it's close to 80 out here, which is unusual. Usually with this wind direction out here, it would be cooler, but not today. So I guess it's good that my wife didn't come. She hates the hot weather. And over there is the entrance to Northeast Harbor. Not too many boats in there yet. A few boats out sailing today. For the first time, pretty much everybody has been tied up previously. We look south out the western way. Great Cranberry Harbor over there. And the west end of Sutton Island. Feels good to be out here. Well, we sailed into kind of a dead spot. Got down to just over 2 knots. Starting to pick up a little bit, and the wind is finally feeling a little bit cool. It looks like there's wind over toward the cranberries, so hopefully we won't get into the wind shadow of Great Cranberry, and hopefully we can sail over there in a reasonable amount of time and then come back. I figure I've got maybe a little over 2 hours that I can sail today before my pain drugs wear off and my back issue becomes an issue. So we'll see. Hopefully I'll make it over. It is very hazy today though. And boat speed currently 2.9 on a beam reach toward Islesford on Little Cranberry Island. And that's Great Cranberry Harbor right over there. And the only thing that I didn't do today is I forgot to turn my electric winches on, so I'm gonna have to do it with the old-fashioned way with the winch handle, unless I feel like going below and flipping the switch. And right now I don't feel like doing that. I'm pretty sure I can handle it in these extreme conditions. with a winch handle. Find out though. Oh, wind has picked up a little. We're back up to 3 something. Let's see. 3.8. Whoa, we're flying. And we're just hitting a wind line here. We might pick up a little more boat speed. So the plan is to go over, tack around in Islesford Harbor, and sail back. That'll make this a 6 to 7 mile sail. And I'm gonna get back a little later than I told my wife I would, but you know, that won't be an issue as far as I'm concerned. You can see a few more boats in Northeast Harbor over there. And the Islesford Inn, which just reopened after a major renovation. Both the 2 old hotels on the island, the Islesford and the Claremont, were purchased by the same group. They renovated both of them, and they're now up and running. And a little bit more of a view of the west end of Sutton Island and the Bear Island Lighthouse. Well, I thought I'd talk a little bit about single-handing. Sequester, for those who don't know, is an Allied Princess 36 ketch. And I am out here today alone, single-handing the boat, which the way I've got it set up is simple. I do not have to leave the cockpit to sail the boat. I do not have the Maine on, as you can see, no mainsail. And that's an intentional choice because to raise and lower the main, I do have to go forward to the mast, and in particular, to lower the main, I have to be up there for quite a while to get the sail down and flaked properly. And well, it's possible, and I've done it years ago, I have not had the main on the boat for a long time. Simply because it's, you know, I can sail at you know, reasonable speed, not fast, but we're making a little over 4 knots right now in light air. And the boat, you know, is easy to handle from in here. As I said, I do not have to leave the cockpit. The only time on this sail that I've been out of the cockpit was when I realized I was dragging my fenders, and I went up and flipped them up on deck. Other than that, I'm safe back here in the cockpit, and I'm unlikely to fall overboard. And the boat, as I said, is quite easy to handle. Now, it is a bigger boat. You know, a lot of people might say, wow, single-handing a 36-foot boat, that's a big job. But it all depends on how you have the boat set up. And yeah, it would be a lot of work if the wind was blowing harder and we were heeled over 25 degrees. But, you know, I would still feel safe back here because, you know, if I needed to, I can put, I've got a reef I can put in the mizzen, and I can partly roll up the Genoa just by cranking the furling winch. And if I'd remembered to turn the electric winches on, I could even put a turn of the furling line around one of the electric winches and roll the Genoa up that way. But, you know, as is, I'll have to use a winch handle. And we're moving along 4.5 knots right now, and it's reasonably cool out here. The downside, of course, of single-handing is that I'm alone. I only have you guys to talk to, and so far you're not very responsive when I say things to you. But hopefully I'll get lots of comments from you guys, and everything will work out. But yeah, it can be single-handing, if you're not inclined to be alone on the boat, can be a little on the dull side. But, you know, that's the way it goes. Sometimes you don't have a choice. Like today, it was stay home or single hand. And there's something to be said for the first sail of the 2025 season to be a single-handed sail. Anyway, cruising along 4.5 knots toward Little Cranberry Island and Islesford Harbor. I'm going to stand up and show you what it looks like out here. Okay, there's Great Cranberry Harbor over there, and a few boats in there. Boat speed 4.6, and that's the Elizabeth T, which is a day charter lobster boat. They take passengers out for 2-hour cruises. That's a lobster boat. And looks like a friendship sloop over there. And straight ahead, Islesford Harbor. A few boats in there. We'll see more when we get there. We got about a mile to go. And past there, it looks pretty hazy. That's looking more or less east, and if we were to sail that way, we would eventually end up in the Bay of Fundy. So yeah, a little more lobster gear over here. You can see the colorful lobster buoys, which we would like to avoid. I do not want to snag one. Okay, that's the south side of Sutton Island we're sailing past now. Sutton is another island that has no year-round residents. All the homes there are summer homes. It's actually pretty hard to get ashore on that island in the winter, in that they take the docks out. And I think there might be one back there near the west end that is the sort of town dock, but other than that, it's a difficult island to get to. It's a private island. Every bit of it is privately owned except for the town dock, and Sutton is part of the town of Cranberry Isles, which is Sutton, Little Cranberry, Great Cranberry, and I'm not sure if Baker Island, which is just past Little Cranberry, is part of the town or not. It mostly belongs to Acadia National Park, although there is a little bit of private land on it. We got a schooner coming out. I think that is the schooner Ambergris, which does day sails out of Southwest Harbor, carrying up to 6 passengers. And Captain Patrick runs it for the summer. We get a better view of it as he sails past us. The wind just picked up a little bit again. We're up to 4.5 knots. Doesn't feel like it though. We're on a beam reach, I think. Yep, beam reach. So it should be an easy sail back too. Yeah, that's the Ambergris. She's steel. She's about 65 feet on deck, 85 feet overall with the sprit and the boomkin. And she's 3-masted. And Patrick has had that boat for, oh gosh, about 10 years now. Has done a huge amount of work on it. When he bought it down in Florida and brought it up here. And at first, he had no masts. He just motored up here. But now he's got her rigged out, nice gaff rig, and ready to sail. It's a nice day charter boat. I think he's charging 110 to take you out for 2-3 hours. And he only carries 6 passengers, so there's lots of space. And he's a really nice guy. I get along with him very well. I've known him for, oh gosh, 15 years. And we can see MDI past Sutton over there. Everything you can see past Sutton Island is in Acadia National Park. And on a day like this, Probably absolutely swarming with tourists. Well, I don't think it's a great day to go out further. Out there past the cranberries, I can see a fog bank, Maine's favorite bank. That's a joke that my wife always moans when I say it, but I can't resist. So we'll be in Islesford Harbor in just 3 or 4 minutes. And we'll tack around and head back, and I will show you a little bit of Islesford Harbor. At least when we get closer, the haze won't be such a problem for seeing the place. Well, there's Islesford Harbor. We're coming in. It's mostly lobster boats and a few pleasure power boats over here. I can see, a few sailboats. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3. There usually aren't very many. The buildings over there are the Islesford Dock. There's a restaurant at the end of it. And then the town, the lobster co-op, and then the town dock.
Dysarts Marina, this is Foxy Flamingo.
And somebody's calling on the radio. So we're headed in.
Foxy Flamingo, want to switch and answer on channel 8, channel 08.
And there's also the Islesford Museum over there, which is run by Acadia National Park. And the rest of it is all private homes. Another feature of the Cranberry Harbors is that the town of Cranberry Isles has, I think, either 3 or 4 town guest moorings over here that are first come, first serve, and free to use. So you can come over here, pick up a guest mooring, and go ashore or spend the night. And it's a really nice place to spend the night because the view from out here is spectacular, particularly if it's a little bit clearer than it is right now. But it's a really nice view. Great Cranberry has guest moorings too, but every boat that's headed for Islesford goes past there, and they're kind of rolly. So I've spent the night over there, but it's not my first choice. Okay, so what we're going to do is come up here to the outer edge of the mooring field and tack around and head back. There's a lobster boat headed in. And actually, yeah, the lobster fleet is mostly in, it looks like. This is a really nice little harbor. It's well protected from the east. Only from the sort of northwest does it have any exposure. Yeah, I just finished my first tack of 2025. Sorry I couldn't film it, but unfortunately it took both hands. So now I'll turn, head back where I want to go, and we will shut the jib in a little. And it's harder to do with the winch handle than with the electric winches. I should have turned them on. I did test them before we launched the boat, so I know they're working this year. I just forgot to flip the switch. As we head back west toward Southwest Harbor. After sailing over to Little Cranberry Island and Islesford Harbor. It's nice out here today, except for being hazy. What have we got? There's another sailboat underway. Looks like about a 50-footer under power. And they're probably in a hurry to get back. We're not. So we'll just head west. That's Great Cranberry Island over there. Behind us, Islesford Harbor and Little Cranberry Island. Well, I just checked my clock and it took 1 hour to get over here. And I'll go up and take a look at the chart plotter and see if I can remember how to tell how far we've gone. I think it should be right there on the screen. 3.85 nautical miles. So we were off the dock 1 hour ago, so average 3.85 knots. We hit 5.1 as our maximum speed, which was just a moment ago. So the guy who's motoring is probably only doing about 6. And I bet I'm getting better fuel mileage than he is. Now, as we sail west past Great Cranberry Island, I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the aspects of single-handed sailing this boat. Or just sailing it in general. Now, there's a fair amount of lobster gear out here. Not a lot right here, but in places there's a lot. And you do not want to snag it. Now, this boat has a full keel with the propeller in an aperture at the aft end of the keel. And the aperture is between the rudder and the keel. So a lobster pot line cannot just get in there, but it's a 3-bladed prop, so a line could snag a prop blade. Now, if the prop is turning, it can wrap the line around the prop and the prop shaft. And if that happens, it is bad because it's hard to get at it and get a line like that out. So what I do is I put the transmission in reverse, which locks the prop and keeps it from turning. So that if I do snag a trap line, all that happens is it's hooked on one blade of the prop, and once I figure out which side of the boat it's on, I just turn to that side and the line slides off the prop. Easy as that, and keeps the boat from getting hung up. Now, every year, you know, I snag 1 or 2 that way, but I have not gotten into a position where I couldn't get off just by turning the boat for many years. And that's an important consideration when you sail here on the Maine coast. You do not want to get hung up on lobster pots and lines. It can ruin your day. And yeah, so now this is a nice place to sail short-handed like this. Now we're almost back to the mouth of Southwest Harbor. About a little over half a mile to go. I'll furl up out there and motor in, just because this is not the most sprightly handling boat, and I'm by myself, so I have to do everything. So I'm not going to take any chances. If we look south out the Western Way, you can see that we weren't going to get much more of a sail today. The fog is coming back in. It's coming in over the south end of Great Cranberry there. Probably within the next hour it'll be in here, but by then we'll be tied up. Okay, we're just about to the outer edge of the mooring field. We hit 5.7 going across the Western Way, but we're down to 2.6, so we're losing the wind. So I'm going to go another couple hundred yards, start the engine, furl up, and motor in. Once we get the sails down and I'm underway under power, I'll show you some of the sights of Southwest Harbor. Okay, sails are furled. Still have to put the sail cover on the mizzen, but we'll do that after we're in. And got the fenders over, and mooring lines are rigged, so it's just a matter of getting into the slip. Let's see if our slip neighbor is there. If they are, I'll ask for help. If not, I'll come in on my own. The wind is such that it will just blow me onto the finger pier, so this should be pretty easy. So we come into Southwest Harbor after an exciting cruise over to Little Cranberry and Islesford Harbor. The outer moorings here belong to the Hinckley Company, and they do rental moorings. I heard that they're really expensive this year, so if you're thinking about one, there are other options. We'll get up here and I'll show you one of the other mooring options here in Southwest Harbor. One aspect of Southwest Harbor is that there's always a sort of dead air spot just outside the harbor, which if you're by yourself is a good spot to furl up, because right here at the entrance to the harbor the wind always scales up. It's probably 2.5 times what it was where I furled up, so it just makes it a lot easier to work out there. Of course, we are motoring into the wind to some extent, which makes it feel stronger. I'm doing about 3.5 knots. Now as we come up here, there are about 4 or 5 moorings that belong to the town of Southwest Harbor that are rental moorings, and they have better protection than these Hinckley Company moorings out here. Maybe not as many services. Well, they don't have any services. You can use the town dock, which is about maybe 250, 300 yards away, and or you can go further up the harbor to go ashore to one of the other town docks. But I don't know what the town is charging for them this year, but I'm sure it is less than Hinckley charges. I mean, Hinckley might be worth it. They used to have, you know, bathrooms and showers and washing machines and all sorts of other things. They have a dock, and they might even be providing launch service for what I heard they're charging this year. So who knows? Might be worth it, but I don't know. It depends on your boat size. If you have a 35-foot boat, it's probably worth going into the marina. Probably not a whole lot more than a Hinckley mooring. Well, this is the final approach to the marina, and just a little bit we'll see if my slip neighbor's there. If he is, I'm gonna ask for somebody to lend me a hand, although I should blow onto my finger pier, but no point in taking any chances. I'm not moving very fast right now, and I'd rather play it safe as we head in. Now this boat here is the Marie. That's a 130-foot boat. It dates from 1930. Believe it or not, that's a steel boat that they completely refurbished, welded all the plates, and it looks absolutely perfect. That's my idea of a motor yacht. Okay, I'm gonna make my approach and tie up. Now my slip neighbor is not there, so I'll take the boat in myself. I won't need to call for help because there's nothing to hit. So that should be pretty easy. Well, I'm back. First single-handed and first sail of 2025 is finished. Went about 7.4 miles, hit 5.9 knots under sail, which was, you know, a good sail. And unfortunately, my back pain drugs wore off just as I started to put the sail cover on, so time to get off the boat and go home. Well, thanks for coming along. Hope you found the first sail of 2025 interesting. Thanks for watching.